You like this hair? It's really cute. Super cute. Really good things going on. It is Saturday, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and Julian is gone fishing with our buddy Ben all day. And so tomorrow will be our get stuff done day, and it seems that we have one really strong get stuff done day every weekend, which has been really great. And well, frankly, Julian gets a lot done. My main pregnancy symptom is sleeplessness / insomnia, if you will. So I don't end up maintaining the high level of productivity that he does, but I digress. So since he's going to be gone pretty much all day, I think, or like a majority of the day, I've been looking at Luna, and she's just kind of looks at me all pouty and sad. And our neighborhood is great. I love our neighborhood. It's quiet, it's safe, all of those things. But the sidewalk situation is abysmal. Like Shel Silverstein, where the sidewalk ends, is everywhere in this neighborhood. And there were a lot of different developers that built in this area. So there are like 5-foot patches where one developer wasn't willing to pay to do the whole sidewalk, and the other developer wasn't willing to pay, and no one's filled it in between. It's just the sidewalk is constantly ending and beginning again. I guess that's a good life metaphor. Anyways, on either side of the development, so like on the north end and on the south end of the golf course, and like where our house is on the edge of the neighborhood, there's no shoulder, there's no sidewalk. These streets are frequented by many travelers, and they're going very fast. So not the safest walking route, and I usually like to do it with someone else, or I'll do it, but not when I'm 8 months pregnant. Not 8 months pregnant. Because A, I don't move quite as quickly as I used to, and B, it's just not as safe. And in the crazy event that something goes wrong, that would be like, oh, I needed to go on a walk, so now my baby is hurt. Great. But really want to take Luna on a walk. She's been needing to get outside. I've been needing to get outside, just with this nice level of stir crazy we've all been experiencing in 2020. So I think I'm going to take her to Manitou, which is a really pretty park in my town. So she'll be super happy, and I need to get the movement in and just continue to stay as active as possible so that I can maintain as high a level of comfort as possible until she comes. And I think that like the theme of the day, if you will, is that I will chat with you about, as a Pilates teacher, what my physical experience has been like through this pregnancy and what my movement has looked like through the pregnancy. So how I've modified, adjusted, changed, and everything. And of course, I've spent the last 7 years training and whatnot, the last 5 of which as a certified teacher, and the last 2.5 like in my master training. So I've been in a pretty high level of training pretty consistently for the last 7 years. And so I'm finally not able to do advanced reformer work. So it took me until month 7 to not be able to do all of the advanced work. That sucked, but it's okay. And I really look forward to the cool things that my body is currently doing and the recovery process, no matter how slow. I'm really excited to see what my body is capable of after birth and everything, and to really understand on a different level what clients come to me for, because we work a lot with mamas who have recently had babies and on their pelvic floor and all of those things. So I'm eager to experience that for myself, and think I'll just share that with you today. And my movement, I'd like to get a reformer workout in. Here we go. Let's get ready for a walk. Luna's gonna be pumped. Okay, bye. I wish I were joking. I got ready, brushed my hair, did all of that, got dressed, and thought, you know what, I'll just lay down for like a second. I just conked out for 2.5 hours, which is awesome because this whole pregnancy, I've had a lot of issues sleeping, and I've also had a lot of troubles napping. So I'm just generally tired all the time because I'm not getting sleep anywhere. And I'm typically not able to nap for more than an hour before she kicks and wakes me up, but that was actually pretty good. So I'm glad that I just lowered my expectations. I had already lowered my expectations for the day, because I'm pretty much all I'm going to accomplish is this walk, I think. And one sec. Okay. I'd say that was successful. It was very fun. We met a couple other dogs. We saw a bunch of humans, and she did such a good job with a couple of little girls that decided to say hi and all those things. But my belly, my baby, is getting heavy, and I definitely feel her differently than I did even like a month and a half ago. In the last couple weeks, I've gone from like pregnant to pregnant. She just got, like, she dropped differently, I think. And so it changed how she kind of sits and whatnot. So my pelvis has started to get that shift to an anterior tilt. So working as hard as I can to get myself back to neutral so that my pelvic floor can pull up and in. And it's kind of tricky right now with how big she's getting, but not the worst problem to have. And I'm so excited. Get a little winded, but left my little tripod in the car, and I'm too lazy to go get it, so I'm gonna have to put this on the big tripod. And it's been a while since I last chatted with you, but look how cute my freaking dog is. And then there's Albus, who just wants more attention. Oh, no? Okay. Oh, we all want love. Okay. Hi. Hi. I put on my robe because it's the comfiest thing I own, and it's like a wearable blanket, and I got it for my baby shower from a wonderful friend and client at the studio, and I've been wearing it all the time. Like, the only good thing to come from isolation right now is that it's fewer moments that I have to put on real clothes, therefore getting out of my robe to leave my house. Like, that is key right now. So my movement has changed. As I mentioned before, my movement all pregnancy has pretty well just been walking and Pilates. It's about it. And in the beginning of my pregnancy, I was still having to train for my PMMP, Pilates Master Mentor program, the certification that I just got done with in July. I was 13 weeks pregnant. So I was right on the edge of my first and second trimester when I got done with my PMMP. And so that meant that I had to be physically capable of doing the whole repertoire. And I had a few moments where I had to pause and like sit down or something because blood was just rushing to my head in a different way, and I was still working through the nausea a little bit. I was at the tail end of my nausea symptoms, which was great, but it was still just a rough time. So had to do a lot of Pilates training in my first trimester, even though I didn't feel super great. But it really did set me up for success for the rest of my pregnancy, because only in month 8 have I started to really feel the pregnancy. Like, I went from pregnant to pregnant, which super first world problems. Life is good. We finally broke down and got me a pregnancy pillow that should be in the mail this week, and maybe I'll unbox it with you and try to snuggle it with you you. I don't know. Vlogmas, all rules are off. Walking has become slower and slower as the pregnancy has progressed, and my Pilates practice has become slower and slower as my pregnancy has progressed. And as you can see in the little fast forward video I did, the time lapse, if you will, of my reformer workout just now, it's such a strange experience to not only have a body that isn't as capable or controlled as the one I'm used to, one that I'm not as familiar with, but also one that changes every day. And thank goodness for the level of training I've had in order to be able to feel different tings or pinches or aches or discrepancies in my movement, and to be able to adjust accordingly, because I've seen it in clients or I've just studied it enough that I understand what to do with that information and how to progress from there. So very fortunate to have the background that I do as I work through my first pregnancy. And I was thinking about it, and most people at my age, so at the age that they're working through pregnancy, what an interesting experience to have the level of training that I do in Pilates and just enough of a movement experience and background to be able to articulate what's going on in my body at any given moment, and to understand the different changes that are being discussed physically, like in my apps and whatnot. So it's been really cool to feel like a newcomer and to explore that in myself. So that's the biggest change and the biggest observation I've had so far. The funniest thing though is that as I start to map out what my recovery will look like and a repertoire for myself to get back to a place of doing highly advanced work in a timely fashion, not pushing myself too hard or too far, but getting myself back to master status, if you will, in my own body for myself. It's really interesting how much society expects you to just figure it out. Like, I don't know if there are any new mamas out there that just didn't feel supported in their postpartum 4th trimester journey, and people who, unless you seek out specific pelvic floor rehabilitation, you're not getting a lot of information. You're not getting a lot of guidance or support as to what you can do to make sure you're not peeing yourself in 6 months postpartum. And I think that's a freaking shame. I think that's so silly. So I mentioned in yesterday's vlog that just going to Barnes & Noble, there was one book that was Pilates for pregnancy, and maybe they're just out of stock in all of the books that they normally carry for like yoga for pregnancy or whatever. And there's maybe 20 pages on the 4th trimester. I ordered a 4th trimester just general health book just to kind of read up on it and see and what information it gives, and in looking at different YouTube videos and outlets for gaining knowledge for just the normal person. And it's not always good stuff. It's not always safe. It's not always what I would suggest. And it's crazy to me that there are so few resources for moms recovering from a very traumatic circumstance. Like, no matter how you brought a baby into the world, that stuff's crazy. There's no good way to get a baby out without some kind of trauma physically. And your body holds on to all of that. And I've worked with postpartum mamas, and your body holds on to it in so many ways. And why there isn't more assistance to a mama postpartum, like after that 6-week checkup where they say, okay, you can work out. It's like, okay, work out how? That's not going to help you knit your abdominals literally back together. I'm getting all heated. It's really upsetting to me that there aren't more resources out there. And I think I'd like to create one. I'm not sure if I'm fully capable of doing so. So I'm doing as much reading as I can to see what kinds of holes there are in the market and if my skill set is appropriate to fill that hole. And I think it is. So stay tuned on all of that. I think it would be really cool to even just have a general guidebook, and I could talk to different pelvic pelvic floor PTs or whatever, just to kind of get the ball rolling and to keep you safe and healthy and happy as you start moving again postpartum. And I don't know, we shall see. And maybe I'll be so tired by the end of having her and whatnot that it doesn't even matter, that I won't want to do any of that anyways. I'll be doing it myself, so I might as well write down what I'm doing, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here after my nice heated conversation on lack of postpartum physical recovery resources. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow, and happy Vlogmas, and thanks for coming on my walk with me. And I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.